Hello there, it's just me, your old buddy Grizzly Jim, and I get asked quite a lot about my traditional archery equipment, so I thought I would take a few minutes to talk about my setup. So I figured we'd probably start off by looking at the bow itself, and one of my most proudest moments in my life, other than marrying my wife and having my kids, is having my own signature bow from the guys at Striker. It was such, I made a video on it a while back, and it's still a bit mind-blowing, to be honest. There's a bow out there with kind of my name on it that you can kind of buy. So yeah, I'm using that at the moment because this is my kind of setup for WA 3D, which I'm thinking about doing a bit more of this year. So normally I tend to flip-flop between this bow and the RK1, also by Striker, but this is kind of the thing I'm shooting at the moment, which is the longer 16-inch riser. Like I say, it's the Grizzly Jim signature series. It's a 62-inch bow. I have the longbow limbs on it at the moment. There's a recurve version as well, but I've got the longbow limbs. Now these aren't the limbs that come with the bow. The limbs that come with the bow have got like a really nice charcoal wedge and some micarta ebony sort of on the front of the bow. These are classic limbs, but they just happen to be the right sort of poundage. They're 30 pounds, so I'm taking it easier on my shoulder at the moment, building up the strength. So I haven't been using the kind of big 50-pound bad boys that it came with. I seem to struggle with them a little bit. But yeah, it's the longbow configuration. You can put recurve limbs on it should you want to, but yeah, just the classic Grizzly Jim signature series. Now I don't know if you can see down there, it's laser engraved with my signature and my little logo on there, which I don't know, it's still amazing that there's a bow out there that's kind of mine, which I think is just it's awesome. What I have done to this bow, I've customized the grip. I've stippled the grip, which doesn't come as standard. I've had to do that myself with a little sort of little Dremel kind of multi-tool with like a tiny little ball head on it. It's very painstaking, but it gives me a really nice grip on the bow. It's not too abrasive. It just helps you locate sort of a good hand position whenever you're using it. So that's just something I've done. If you want to do it, that's absolutely fine. Maybe check with your manufacturer that you're not voiding any warranties or anything. But that's something I do to some of my my grips on my bows. I mean, these bows are pretty good anyway. They tend to have like a nice coating, a nice sort of shark skin sort of coating, but that does kind of wear down after a while if you're using it a lot, especially in the summer, and you know you really do wear the coating down on those grips. But yeah, that's the Grizzly Jim signature series. It's this sort of techno wood construction with some white maple and some micarta in there, giving it sort of a nice bit of rigidity. You've got micarta ebony on the back and the front as well, and the decoration. It's just, I went for something that was sort of classy, and not too over the top. I'm not too over the top. I'm not too fussy. I don't like sort of big flamboyant kind of things. I like things to be a little bit more muted and things. So that's the combination I went for on the signature series, and what I'm very proud of. Also, just a slight segue. I think we are going to be selling this bow here at Merlin. So keep an eye out for that, which I'm hugely excited about. Let's move on to the string. Obviously, I've got a Grizzly string on there. I've got my own string company. I make sort of Flemish twist strings. This is a hybrid Grizzly string. It's tatty. It's old. It's been on there for a while. I'm like a you go around to a builder's house and there's loads of projects sort of half done, and they make beautiful work of other people's houses, but their houses are always a state. That's generalization, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I'm like that with strings. I need to replace this string. It's been on there for a good couple of years, but I haven't got around to it yet. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's still going strong. So I'm shooting a hybrid Grizzly string. That tends to give me a really nice, fast sort of arrow speed, but it's not too harsh. It's not like a fully kind of fast flight type string that gives you a lot of speed, but is also quite critical. This is the best of both worlds. You've got speed, vibration dampening, and shootability. It's a nice soft string. It's not too harsh. It's quite forgiving. But yeah, I always tend to go for the hybrid string on my bows. I just like them. They sound nice. You don't even really need silencers on them, but I tend to put them on because I think they look quite cool. So yeah, that's the bow, the limbs, the string. I'm using a Selway bow quiver. Now this is the bolt-on bow quiver. It goes under the limb bolts there, top and bottom. They have I don't know if they're still doing this. I think they are changing it up slightly to a removable hood and gripper, which is quite nice. But this I've had this for ages. I got this is special to me, this one. I got this from ETAR, directly from the guys at Selway, so it's kind of special to me, so I tend to keep that one on there. It's the smaller hood which I tend to quite like. You can buy a bigger hood. You do tend to get a big one if you're using broadheads or something on your bow quiver. You obviously need a bit more room to accommodate those, but this is just the small hood version. It's perfect, absolutely perfect for me. And I really like, one of the reasons I love the Selways, the grippers. I've yet to find a gripper as high quality as these. They're just really nice and soft. I've had sort of smaller diameter arrows and bigger diameter arrows, not the micros, but I've had various diameter arrows over the years, all been in the same gripper. And they tend to mold to the arrow quite nicely. So I've gone from smaller to bigger, back to smaller, and it retains that muscle memory, that rubber memory, and it holds the arrows in quite nicely. But that's why I kind of fell in love with the Selway quivers, because of these grippers. I think they are sort of some of the nicest grippers out there. So that's that. Then moving on to the arrows. Normally I would use Grizzly sticks, which I think are some of the nicest arrows I've ever come across. Tolerances are just absolutely fantastic. They are quite expensive, however, and the weakest spine they do is a 400, which is, when I'm shooting light poundages, I would have to load up the front so much that it just wouldn't be efficient. So until I'm back on a higher poundage, I found these in the warehouse actually. They're a woven carbon Penthalon arrow, the Hunter Extremes. I just like woven carbon arrows. I think they look quite cool. Got sort of my own little wrap on there and some big old feathers. I think I used these in a different video when I was making up some feathers. But yeah, that's just a little setup I like. I mean, it's a bit of a strange, it shouldn't work on paper, but I've got a 30-pound bow, and I've got 800 spine arrows, which I thought would end up being a little bit weak, but actually come out really nicely. 100 grain up front, nothing overly fancy. It's just just a setup that works. I haven't overly tuned anything. I've kind of eyeballed it mostly, partly because most of the places I would go to tune arrows are still not open yet, but hopefully they will be soon. So I'll be able to get out and do some real fine tuning, like get sort of the saw out and just take little tiny increments off when I'm doing a bit of bare shaft tuning. But as far as arrows go, they're absolutely great. I can't really find anything wrong with them. They're 003 straightness, which for a trad arrow is brilliant. People get caught up in straightnesses of arrows and things where, let's face it, you're shooting them out, well, I am anyway, I'm shooting them out of a wooden bow, off my fingers with feathers on the end. You don't need that sort of, you can get really anal over arrow straightness, and for a trad guy, unless you're the top of the world, it's not going to make any difference. Just enjoy shooting. You'll get better that way, I promise you. But yeah, that's my bow. I use a glove. This is I think it's a bear paw deer skin glove. I struggle with gloves. I've yet to find a glove that I really, really like. I'm not a huge fan of tabs. I find I get a much cleaner loose out of a tab, but it makes me twitchy for one reason or another. So I tend not to use a tab. I'm definitely a glove guy. So I tend to try and flip-flop around gloves till I find the right one. If I find the right one, I will shoot it until it literally falls apart. And that's usually when it's just about broken in, when it falls apart. But this is this isn't too bad actually. This is the bear paw deer skin. It's thick enough on the fingers. The finger shapes are a little bit hit and miss. They're not too regimented, which is a bit of a shame. But usually you find a pattern that works. I mean, most gloves, to be honest with you, are all made from the same pattern anyway. Just different materials, but it does me. It's the best one I've found so far, so I'll stick with that for a little bit. But that's just the glove there. That's just a quick look at my particular setup at the moment. I might do a thing where I look at different setups for different kind of, set them up for different types of archery. I don't know, but like I say, a flip-flop between this bow and the RK1 mainly. But yeah, this is my pride and joy at the moment. I'm so proud of the Grizzly Jim signature series. It's just a proud moment having something out there that's probably hopefully going to outlast me and be around there for years to come. Yeah, that's my setup. It's so nice to kind of get back into the swing of things with archery. It's something I have missed so much, and having a setup you have faith in makes a hell of a lot of difference when it comes to your archery. If you're comfortable with your equipment, you're going to be comfortable with the way you're shooting. You're going to shoot better because you know your equipment's going to hold out on you. And it is easy as archers to lose faith in equipment if you have a bad day, or if something terrible should happen and something break on you. You can lose faith in your equipment, but it's important to get back on the horse and get that faith back, because that's when you're going to be shooting the best, when you're confident. I've done a whole series on sort of confidence in archery, and having the confidence in your equipment is huge. But this is my equipment. This is basically what I have on my bow rack. I tend to, when the string's off it, I tend to wrap the glove around there. It's on my bow rack. I can just grab it and go. I get a call from one of my buddies, JT or someone who phones me up and says, "Let's go." I can just grab it and we're gone, and that's it, and I can take it. I don't need a load of kit bags, I don't need bits boxes, I don't need quivers and things. Everything I need is right there, and it does me for the day, and then I can just take the string off it, put it back on the rack, and it's done. And that to me is kind of the essence of what I do. And but yeah, anyway, that's just a quick little sort of quick and dirty video, really, just to show you sort of what I'm currently shooting, and to selflessly promote the fact that I think we are selling the Grizzly Jim signature series soon. So that's pretty cool. I'm quite happy with that. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that ramble. But anyway, you take care, shoot straight, and I'll see you on the internet. Bye bye.